Because he created this great work called Arthashastra, Kautilya is well known in the entire world as the greatest thinker, not only a political thinker, but also an economic thinker as well. So Kautilya is popularly known as Chanakya. Now what is the significance of this name? Kautilya refers to, in Kannada we call it, or in Sanskrit we call it as Kutila Niti. Kutila means foul policy. Now he was exactly a prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya, the greatest ruler of Maurya dynasty. And he advised Chandragupta Maurya in the art of administration in such a way that he emerged to be the strongest ruler. According to Kautilya, a ruler should be very wise, intelligent, at the same time he should be cunning too, so as to control his people and in order to protect himself from the enemies, those who are nearer to the king. So because of these kind of ideas that he gave to the king, he is known as Kautilya. His other name was Chanakya. Chanakya, the significance of his name is Chanaksha. In Sanskrit, it means Chanaksha. Chanaksha refers to intelligent. He was very intelligent by nature, as a result of which he earned this name called Chanakya. So, as regarding Kautilya, he was considered as the great guide of Chandragupta Maurya, and he was responsible for the establishment of Maurya dynasty. It so happened that in history, you generally come across the Maurya dynasty and Chandragupta Maurya. You might have heard of, you might have read of. Maurya dynasty is considered as the biggest and the strongest dynasty which ruled India in the ancient times. Kautilya helped Chandragupta to defeat the Nandas and establish the Mauryan Empire, largest empire ever in the Indian subcontinent. Regarding his early life, we do not receive or we do not get any more records in history. But the history tells us that Kautilya was an acharya. Initially, he was a guru who was working in Takshashila University of India, which was considered as the world's largest university. It was during that time that Alexander, a Greek emperor, invaded India, and Takshashila was the entry point for him. So in all there were 16 Janapadas in India, and the most popular and powerful Janapada was Magadha, which was ruled by Dhanananda, a ruler by name Dhanananda. He tried to persuade Dhanananda because it was during that time that Alexander tried to invade India and he had entered Magadha. So Chanakya wanted to save Dhanananda and save India from Alexander's invasion. So he tried to persuade Dhanananda, but Dhanananda was very egoistic. He did not care for Kautilya's wise words. He insulted him, as a result of which Chanakya or Kautilya became very angry and he took an oath that he will destroy Dhanananda. This is all a story. Okay. So he found a small boy by name Chandragupta, who was a hunter's slave. Initially, Chandragupta was a slave. He was a hunter's slave. He purchased him from that hunter and took him to Takshashila and trained him. They collectively conquered different Janapadas one by one, including Magadha, the strongest Janapada. And at last, they established the most famous Mauryan Empire. So this is all in history. You study about it in history. Now, as regarding Kautilya's theories, his theories have been his greatest contributions, and his great work Arthashastra is an informative book for all fields. As regarding his other theories or other contributions, his advice to the prince and guidelines regarding the administrative system, Saptanga theory, Mandala theory, etc. have been considered as his greatest contributions to the history of political thought. Now, from the point of view of your syllabus, we have to deal with only his two theories, that is Saptanga theory and Mandala theory. Okay, so now let us deal with his Saptanga theory. These are all very simple theories. Saptanga refers to Sapta. Sapta means 7. Angas means organs. These are all Sanskrit terms. Sapta means 7 and Anga means organs. So it refers to 7 organs of the state. Now here state in the sense government. State is ruled by the government. And if the state has to manage its administration properly, it has to depend upon these 7 organs or 7 elements, which are equally important. Without a single organ or without a single element, state cannot function properly. So which are these 7 organs of the state? Number 1, Swami. So one side you can see the Sanskrit terms. Swami, Amatya, Janapada, Durga, Sainya, Kosha and Mitra. These are the 7 organs of the state. Now what do you mean by Swami? Raja or king. Amatya refers to minister. Janapada refers to state or people. Jana means people. Janapada refers to state or people. Durga refers to fort. Sainya refers to army. Kosha refers to treasury. And Mitra means friend. Now let us deal with all these 7 organs one by one. First is Saptanga. Swami. Swami or king. Swami or king plays a very predominant role in the state. Then if at all king is to rule the country efficiently, if at all the king should control the country, if at all people should be under his control and should obey the king, how should be the king? King must be strong, effective. He should have reasoning capacity. Means he should have the capacity to understand what is right and what is wrong. Then only he will be able to give a moral and better administration to the people. He should develop art, literature, architecture, and should care for the welfare of the people. The king should be away from lust, greed, passions, anger, pride, etc. So these are the vices. These are called the vices. The king should be away from all kinds of vices or bad qualities, because people will consider him as a model for them. If the king is full of vices, then people cannot consider him as a good model for them. On the contrary, if the people are not satisfied with the king, then they may revolt against him. So if at all people should be happy, and if the king wants to keep the people happy, he himself should be away from these vices. He should be, on the contrary, virtuous. He should be humble, should have self-control, should not spend time in entertainment. That doesn't mean that king should not have entertainment at all. That doesn't mean that king should not enjoy his life. Enjoyment is a must, entertainment is a must, but not all the time. when the entire responsibilities are performed by the king, then there should be time for amusement or entertainment. Then only he will be considered as a good king. Kautilya gave more importance to state than the king. King is important, but more than the king, the state is important. King is mortal, but state is immortal. Mortal means king may die. King one or the other day has to die, and some other king will replace his place. But state is forever. State is immortal. There is no end for the state. So that should be the responsibility of the king, he says. Then second is Amatya. Amatya refers to minister. Equally important role is performed by the minister as well, because minister is like a guide for the king. Without minister, the king cannot run the administration. So Amatya or minister comes next to the king. How should be the minister? He should be efficient. He should have good precision. Precision means he should have understanding. He should have foresight, as you know. He should predict the things, how it will happen in future. Then he should be loyal to the king. Minister should in no way go against to the king. He should always be loyal. Such a person should be made a minister or appointed as a minister. The minister should have good oratory skill. Means he should know how to speak and what to speak. If he is having convincing skill, he can convince the king on any administrative matter. Then he should have morality, must have moral values, must be virtuous. A good king and a good minister will always run the country in a better way, efficient way. Then the minister is like eyes and ears of the king. Whatever he listens and whatever he sees should be reported properly to the king, so that on the basis of that, the king may take good decisions, and that would be the right decision. And minister should help the king in every respect. How many ministers should be appointed? He says that the chief of the minister is called as Pradhan Amatya, that is Prime Minister to the king, and the other Amatyas or the ministers, the number varies between 3 to 4. How many ministers should be appointed must be decided by the king. Then comes third, Janapada, which means state. How should be the state? There must be good climate and sufficient land so that people live with satisfaction. Land should be properly managed. In what way it should be managed? Every village should have minimum 600 agricultural families and 500 other families. Agricultural families means families which depend upon agriculture as the main source of profession, as the profession earning main source of income. Whereas the other families refers to the families which depend upon other professional groups. And population must be under control. There must not be too large nor too small population, so that it must be in a position to be controlled properly. All people must have houses, whether small or big. Then small, big and large administrative centers must be there. Land should be given to priests, teachers, saints and Brahmins. And the natural resources which are available must be made optimum use. Then number of welfare programs must be undertaken for the sake of the people. Then the fourth factor or organ is Durga. Durga refers to fort. Fort is useful for a nation because it protects the country from enemy invasions. So Kautilya stated these ideas during ancient times when, if at all any enemy wants to invade a particular country, he had to come by road, through walk. So that's why he explained these ideas. In order to control the enemies from invading a nation, the nation should be duly protected, for which proper forts are to be constructed. So state must be surrounded by strong forts. There are mainly four kinds of forts called water, mountain, desert, and forest. Water, mountain, desert, and forest. These are the natural kinds of forts which cover a particular nation. If a nation is having or a state is having these natural protections from all points, then it will be able to protect itself. But it is not possible for a state to always have a natural surrounded fort like water or mountain. Every time it won't be possible. At such times, it is better to have the artificial forts constructed by the nation or by the state. Artificial fort, as you might see in the Mirzan fort. So number of such artificial forts were constructed by the nations in order to protect themselves. So if the fort is strong, nation will be strong. That is the idea behind it. Are you all listening to me? Are you all listening? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then next is Sainya. Sainya refers to army. So if a nation is having a very strong army, then it can control itself, it can protect itself. Army is the symbol of national power of a nation. Every army should have enough quantity of infantry, cavalry, then elephants, chariots, spies, transport system, etc. What do you mean by infantry? Infantry refers to padati. Padati in the sense the soldiers who used to stand on land and used to fight. So, common soldiers, their number should be big so that the king's army will be considered as the biggest army. Normally, whenever you see the army of a particular king, say on television, if the number is more huge, you will find that such a king may be very strong. If the number is less, you might be thinking that such a king or that king may be weak. So number also matters there. And then cavalry refers to Ashwadala. So they used to use horses. So horses should be, good number of horses must be there. Then elephants, they used to sit on elephants and they used to struggle. So good number of elephants, chariots. Then spies. What do you mean by spy here? Spies refers to the people, agents of a particular nation who were sent to the enemy nation, and they used to travel there in a disguised manner, and they used to collect all information, and they will come back to their nation and they will give it to the king, on the basis of which the war strategy will be decided. Then good transport system should be there, so that transport, in the sense during that time vehicles were not there, animals were used for carrying messages, goods and commodities from one place to another. So it all depends upon all these things. So all these things should be properly strengthened, he says. Then good service force must be there for the army. Service force in the sense the line officers means directly who work on the battlefield are the army or the soldiers. But there is a long body of people who assist these soldiers, and those who are helpful for the soldiers, they are called service force. It includes doctors, nurses, and then the people who construct roads, bridges, etc. So such kind of people should be carried by the army in good number, so that convenience would be there. Then every army should have a very strong commander-in-chief, and then commanders and soldiers must be there must be appointed in sufficient number. Then comes the sixth one, Kosha. Kosha refers to treasury. Whatever developmental activities the king wants to undertake in his nation depends upon treasury. Treasury consists of money and wealth. If the treasury is full, number of developmental programs will be conducted, and if the treasury is empty, the king will not be able to take any developmental programs. So the prime attention should be given towards filling of treasury, he says. So attempts should be made to enrich the treasury or to fill the treasury. How to fill the treasury? Number of principles he advocates. That is, taxes must be collected by the people, and tax evaders are to be punished, because most of the people, we find that they feel happy in evading taxes. They try to search measures to evade taxes. But what Kautilya says, tax evaders are to be severely punished. And at the same time, taxpayers must be awarded or rewarded, must be praised, honored, so that people will have a tendency to pay the taxes. Then wealth of business class people, then criminals must be seized. If the people do some crimes, as a punishment, their property is to be seized and it should be filled in the treasury, so that the treasury will be full. And one more thing he says, from the religious institutions such as temples, the extra money which is earned by them should also be seized and should be put in the treasury. By making all these things, the treasury will be full and the king can undertake number of developmental programs. And the last point is number 7, Mitra. Mitra refers to friend. So Kautilya places too much prominence on friendship, because no person can lead a completely isolated life. In the same manner, no country can lead a completely isolated life. And every person wants the friendship with other people, and in the same manner, every nation wants to have a friendship with the other nations. Only then the national interests of the people will be fulfilled. So always a nation should take care that a good friend or friendship with a good friend is developed. And friendship with neighborly states, with strong and not weak. In the sense, always we must have a friendship with neighborly states, because neighborly states are always, there is every possibility that they may be turn into our enemies, because the interests of the neighbors are the same. They happen to be the same. Our interest and our neighbor's interest would be the same. And when we try, both of us, we try to fulfill our interest, that leads to competition, and again it leads to enmity. So we should always be careful regarding our neighbors. The same should be adopted by the nation also, or by the state also. So we should have a friendship with the neighboring states. What kind of states? Strong states, and not with the weak states, because it is of no use for us, he says. Then friendship may be of two kinds. One is natural, another artificial. What do you mean by natural friendship? Friendship which is earned naturally. He spoke about two other kinds of friendship: hereditary and circumstantial friendship. Hereditary friendship is natural one. Means if you happen to be a friend, if you have got a friend, your father and his father, if they happen to be the friends, their fathers will be the friends. It is called hereditary friendship. If there is a kind of hereditary friendship which is developed between the families, that will last for long, because you will have a sense of responsibility. You cannot end it in the middle. So natural friendship is always good, he says. And when natural friendship is not there, if you want to make friendship or develop friendship with somebody else, it is considered as artificial friendship. When you consider or when you develop friendship with a new person, with a stranger, that is considered as artificial friendship, and that is circumstantial, means it depends upon circumstances. It depends upon needs and necessities. Such a friendship will not last for long because it suffers from lack of responsibility. Anytime you can end this kind of friendship. So friendship should always be natural so that it lasts for ever, he says. So these are the 7 organs which are connected with the theory of Saptanga and the role played by these 7 organs.